But to say that I think Nazism is a representation of Christianity is ridiculous and something that I never said and a flat-out lie. The Nazi regime had so many connections to Christianity. Using something like this to promote the very religion that helped cause it in the first place, whenever those beliefs, Christianity, is what played a major role in this happening to the Jewish people to begin with. But to say that I think Nazism is a representation of Christianity is ridiculous and something that I never said.
Today is an exciting day because Jaclyn Glenn made a video response to my video response to her video response to a video called That Jew Died For You. If that's too complicated, let me make it really simple. Jaclyn began her video by saying this.
Hey guys, so somebody made a video about me called Jaclyn Glenn Hates God. So I get a lot of video responses from people who don't like me.
Jaclyn, you insinuated that I didn't like you. This couldn't be farther from the truth because in 2 of my videos now, and in a private message I sent to you, and a message I sent through a friend of yours, I invited you to have a conversation, a friendly conversation with me. I still haven't heard back from Jaclyn. I tried, I sent her a message to talk to me. I'm afraid, actually, that she's going to respond as if I was trying to hurt her as opposed to befriend her. I invited you to be my friend, and I'm still inviting you. I'm going to begin this video with yet another invitation to you to have a conversation, a friendly conversation, in the hope that you and I could become friends, or at least be friendly. You see, I've never seen you have a conversation with a Christian, and I think you've surrounded yourself with an audience and people who support your worldview and are part of your worldview, and that has prevented you from having any conversation at all with anyone who disagrees with you. And when you surround yourself with people like that, it becomes extremely difficult for anyone from the outside to reach in. And so what I really think is going on here is you don't like me. And you'll prove that by either accepting or denying my invitation to have a friendly conversation in the hope of becoming friends, despite our disagreement. You see, I'm of the mind that we can disagree with people and still be friends with them. And I'm going to prove that to you by attempting to befriend you. So please let me prove you wrong on this point, and let's have that conversation.
Apparently this guy is kind of notorious for causing a lot of problems with certain atheist YouTubers in the past.
But what kind of problems? I mean, you called me a menace. Those are your words to a friend of yours. And so I'm curious, you know, this again, the statement that I don't like you, I think what's going on here is you don't like me, but you don't even know me. You haven't taken the time to get to know me. And again, I extend that invitation to you.
And then he came back after 3 or 4 years of being gone to attack my video.
Actually, Jaclyn, the last video I posted was only a few months ago, so I don't know where you get 4 or 5 years, but I mean, 3 months is very different than 4 and 5 years. I mean, that's the kind of astronomical difference of the error between the age of the Earth and the age that you think the Earth is. That's my little young Earth versus old Earth joke for the video, so.
And a lot of people commented, wow, VenomFangX resurrected just for you.
Yeah. But no, it's just a total error. You're wrong. I didn't come back to YouTube to respond to you. I've been here for the last 3 years, posting videos semi-regularly, every few weeks or months.
As a lot of Christians would agree with me, resurrecting for someone is a pretty big deal, so I feel kind of special right now. This is exciting.
I'm glad you're excited. I'm excited. I'm always interested in making new friends. And I hope that, though we may have gotten off to a rough start, Jaclyn, I hope, even if we disagree, even if at the end, in, you know, let's say 20 years from now, you and I are still totally on opposite ends of the fence, at least we could look back and say, you know what, we actually talked with each other, not just to each other or at each other, but we actually spoke with each other. And that's what I'm really hoping for. And I think that would be special because I see none of that on YouTube. I never see a cordial discussion between large personalities here on YouTube who are on opposite ends of the fence. And if, oh man, if we could just do that, then we begin to see more of it. And if we began to see more of it, that to me is special. That to me would be exciting. That would be different. And I think you and me, we can lead the way. I think we can. Now, maybe I need to apologize to you for a few things, and you're going to bring up a few things that I said in my video which may have hurt you a little bit, like my thumbnail or my representation of some of your videos. And so we're going to look at what you said, and we're going to carefully examine exactly what I was trying to do, and hopefully at the end of it you'll realize what I was trying to do was not to hurt you, or even to insult you, but was actually to get your attention in the hope of befriending you. And it looks like I have gotten your attention. And so, in some sense, I was successful. And yes, I did some shock value things, which you are accustomed to doing. But I felt it was important because, frankly, you're a hard person to get the attention of. So, now that we're having a discussion, now that, well, at least I hope this is the beginnings of a discussion, now that I have your attention, I hope we can have that discussion.
But he does have me on one thing, guys. I will admit, I like to make funny titles. I like to make interesting thumbnails. It gets more views. That's the reason. I don't think that that's a secret to anyone, including him. Check out the thumbnail that he used for his video. A bit hypocritical, I think.
Jaclyn, one thing I'd appreciate is if you don't treat me like I'm stupid. I don't think you're stupid. I really don't. I think your audience might be stupid for believing a lot of the things you say, but I don't think you're stupid. I know that you know that I know that your video thumbnails have satirical shock value qualities. And so my thumbnail is of the same vein. It was meant to be a satire of your thumbnails. And I know you understand that. I know you understand that. But the kind of conversation we're having right now is we're trying to one-up each other. We're trying to, who can be more clever? Who can try to sway the audience using emotionalism to try and turn against the other person? And this really has nothing at all to do with, is the Bible true? Is Jesus who he claimed to be? This has nothing to do with that, and that's really the conversation I want to have with you. And so maybe I need to, again, apologize to you that perhaps it's my fault that we've derailed from what I actually want to talk about, and we're getting into all these nitpicky, essentially irrelevant things. Now, I understand YouTube is an entertainment platform more than it is an educational platform. However, I'd like to use it for both. I try to make my videos simultaneously educational and entertaining, and I think very much you do the same thing. And so, let's not criticize each other for our methodology on how we attempt to make our videos simultaneously educational as we do entertaining, and so let's not even dwell on that point. It just seems irrelevant to me.
And the most ironic part about this whole thing is that he claims to be a Jew, and then talks about his belief in Jesus Christ as the Son of God. Now, at first I thought maybe he's just confusing heritage and culture with faith. Or he actually literally thinks that Christians are just simply Jews who believe Jesus is magic, and he identifies as Jewish because he believes in Jesus and Jesus was a Jew.
Do you see this young Jewish man in this picture here? Yeah, so that's me. You see, I was bar mitzvahed as a young Jewish man. I was raised Jewish, my parents on both sides, my grandparents on both sides, and my great-grandparents on both sides. Back and back it goes, we're all Jews. You see, I would have been executed in the Holocaust as a Jew because my blood is Jewish. I am ethnically Jewish. Now, Jaclyn, like I said, we don't know each other. We haven't had an opportunity to get to know each other. You haven't watched my videos, I hadn't watched your videos until this whole debacle began and I started learning about you. And so, you know, I'm not going to accuse you of lying or being deceptive on this point simply because you didn't know. What I will claim, however, is that you are simultaneously ignorant and arrogant. And that's a dangerous combination. You're ignorant of the facts, and you're arrogant in that you assume you do know the facts, and so you state these wild accusations which are simply not true. And I know they're not true because I think I know my own ethnicity, and my background, and my story. But you never took a moment to learn or understand my story, nor are you interested, because frankly, I just don't think you like me.
You can't hate that which you do not think is real. That's like a basic thing that really shouldn't be that hard for people to grasp, but it always is. I get asked all the time why I hate God. Now I'm being asked why I hate Jesus.
It's true. You can't hate something that doesn't exist, which is why the amount of energy, that's really the key word here, the amount of energy that particular atheists put into the denial of God seems to suggest there's something else going on. I don't believe in Santa Claus, but I don't think I've ever made a video trying to convince anyone who believes in Santa Claus that he doesn't exist, nor have I defined myself as an a-Santa-ist, nor have I really spent much thought thinking about the issue of Santa Claus. But you see, atheism is a very different kind of thing than a-Santa-ism. Atheism is a real thing. It takes a lot of energy to be an atheist. It really does. And you demonstrate that by making atheistic videos. The very fact that you call yourself an atheist, that you put any thought to it at all, it seems to suggest there's something else going on. And that seems to be evidence, to me, of God.
I didn't say that religious people were like cancer. I said religion is like a cancer. Religion is a concept. Yes, I think that concept is dangerous to people. Yes, I think that concept is bad. Yes, I find...
Jaclyn, again, don't insult my intelligence and I won't insult yours. I know that you have no intention of hurting anyone physically. Nor would I even think for a moment that you would enjoy seeing anyone be hurt. My point is this: your rhetoric, the words you used, were identical to Hitler's, calling what people are or what they believe a cancer. Those were Hitler's words, the very same words. He called the Jewish people a cancer. And so I was merely trying to illustrate a similarity which concerned me. Again, I was comparing your denial of Christ to those who perpetrated and deny the Holocaust. And that's not without merit. I think there are striking similarities between the rejection of Jesus Christ and the rejection of the Jews, and I think that needs to be, frankly, brought up to you so that you can become critical of yourself, that you may say, okay, you know what? I know I've gone knee-deep into this whole atheism thing. I know that I've got a huge audience who supports what I say, and if I even dared to backpedal or began to question my views publicly, I would be scrutinized, made fun of, and all kinds of things. But Jaclyn, that's why I'm so concerned for you. You've put yourself in a position where people, thousands of people, are looking to you as a very specific kind of thing. They want you to be an atheist, an outspoken atheist. So you're in a position where you're not allowed to question, at least publicly anymore, your own beliefs. You see, as a Christian, I'm even okay saying, you know what, I'm going to scrutinize what I believe. And that's why, again, I invite you to have a conversation with me. Prepare questions for me. Interrogate me. Okay? If you could, Jaclyn, come up with a question that completely confounds me, I welcome it. Bring it on. But I don't see that same openness with you. I see you as a very sheltered person. Intentionally. I believe you've created an audience and a wall and surrounded yourself with people who support you and your ideas, even when they're totally wrong, like a lot of the things you've said in your response video about me. But they'll believe it anyways, and then you'll believe it. You'll believe your own lies. Because this is what you've done to yourself. And so, Jaclyn, again, it's not that I don't like you. It's that I'm concerned for you deeply. Deeply. One day, Jaclyn, you're going to have to give an account for what you've done here. How you've affected the people who watch your videos. You will be judged for the way that you've influenced them.
Okay, you have the freedom to believe whatever you want to believe, and honestly, no one would care if you believed what you wanted to believe without influencing everybody else, but that's just not the world we live in. What you believe in is forced onto other people.
Even if you think I'm way off base, even if you think you're right and I'm wrong, please understand my heart here. It's not that I don't like you. I'm actually, in an ironic sense, the only person here who may actually genuinely be your friend, in the sense that maybe the only one who can actually help you and actually speak something to you that isn't merely in support of all the wrong ideas that you have. Please allow me to at least be a dissenting voice who cares.
Dude, you're using the Bible to redefine Christianity now? By definition, a Christian is a person who believes that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, or God in human form.
Jaclyn, you went to a dictionary definition of what a Christian is, which I assume was invented within, let's be extremely conservative and say 500 years old, that definition. You know, Christians have been around for about 2,000 years. Where does the original definition come from of a Christian? When was the first mention of a Christian? It's actually in the Bible. What a surprise. Does the Bible redefine what a Christian was? Well, what was a Christian before the Bible? You know, a Christian is someone who follows Christ. Christ is the one who defines what a Christian is. The Bible defines very clearly what a Christian is. I did not redefine what Christianity is by looking at what the Bible says. Instead, what I did was, I took the Bible and I looked at what its definition was. The person who redefined what a Christian was you. By saying that, oh, it doesn't matter what the Bible says a Christian is, I'm going to look at what the English dictionary says. When you die, God's not going to judge you by the English dictionary, He's going to judge you by this.
And I like how he left out the strongest evidence in my video for Hitler's Christianity. Quotes directly from him.
Jaclyn, do you really think a man who murdered my people, who would have gassed me in the gas chambers, do you think anything he said really means a whole lot to me? Do you think I value what he said? Do you think I believe the words that come out of his mouth? Do you think just because someone calls themselves a Christian, that automatically makes them a Christian?
Now, a lot of people in certain Christian denominations try to make the claim that people in other Christian sects aren't the true Christians, and someone is obviously a pro at the no true Scotsman fallacy.
It's actually a fallacy to say that it's a no true Scotsman fallacy. You see, I'm not Australian. I don't meet the criteria for being an Australian, and it's not a no true Scotsman fallacy for someone to point at me and say, hey, you're not Australian because you don't meet the criteria. I'm not from Australia. Likewise, the Bible lays down very specific criteria for what would make you a Christian and what would exclude you from being one. For example, the Apostle Paul says, if you say Jesus be cursed, you're not a Christian. Likewise, to be a Christian, Gospel of John chapter 3 says you have to be born again of the Spirit. Catholics have only ever been dunked in water. They receive the water baptism. John the Baptist, who baptized people with water, says, I baptize you with water, but one will come after me who will baptize you with the Holy Spirit. Catholics have only ever been baptized in water. They've never been baptized with the Spirit in accordance with the criteria laid down in the Bible. And so according to the Bible, Catholics are not Christians, and I provided a link for you to really investigate that further, to check what the Bible says about actually being a Christian. So it's not a no true Scotsman fallacy. You are the one who commit the fallacy by accusing me of it. I need you to be more critical of the things you say, because thousands of people's lives depend on it. You have so many people listening to what you say and believing what you say. With that comes a responsibility. And I need you to take that responsibility more seriously. For you, it's just comedy. Jaclyn, this isn't funny. We're talking about God. We're talking about the Holocaust. We're talking about Hitler. The things we're talking about are dead serious. And I fear that to you it's just comedy.
I have nothing else to say about this guy. It's comedy. Great points. Thanks for the comedy. Thanks for the content. It was a lot of fun.
To you, it's just a way to sell t-shirts. Jaclyn, please, please, just talk to me. Let's talk about these issues, and let's talk about them with seriousness. Let's bring everything we've got to the table. Let's bring our intellect. Let's bring our critical thinking skills. And maybe, just maybe, Jaclyn, at the end of that conversation, you'll say, you know what, Sean? At the beginning of this whole thing, I thought you were nothing but a stupid, no-good menace of a Christian. But now that I've actually talked to you and gotten to know you, you know what? Even if I disagree with you, now at least I have some modicum of respect for the fact that, hey, here's a person who doesn't just believe what I say. Someone who, though he's diametrically opposite in worldview, you know what? He actually knows how to think about important issues. Because, Jaclyn, I take them very seriously, even if you don't. Okay? I've been doing this for longer than you, too. I became a Christian 7 years ago. I don't know if you knew that. 2006. I think that's 7 years ago. 2014. Math was never my strong suit. But though math is not my strong suit, one of my strong suits is this. I do take what I believe very seriously, and I've investigated it very thoroughly. And I'm willing to defend it in the arena of ideas, and I allow people to scrutinize and criticize and to interrogate me. And that's what I'm inviting you to do. Come and discuss these things with me. Please. People's lives depend on it. Jaclyn, again, I'm going to invite you to have that conversation. I will also say this. I would be happy, as I stated before, to delete my video, to change the thumbnail, to do whatever it takes to make you happy in order to facilitate a conversation. As I said, I'm here to befriend you. I'm not here to offend you. So please, give me a chance. Let's have a conversation. I promise you that I'm not what you think I am. I hope even in this video I've surprised you by showing you a few things about me that you didn't know. And I've learned things about you that your audience doesn't know, which, your secret's safe with me. So let's have a conversation. I've enjoyed learning more about you, and I'm looking forward to learning more about you. And I hope that you could reciprocate that and say, you know what, maybe I misjudged this person who I don't know. And I hope at the end of it we can say, you know what, now we do know each other a little bit better, and hopefully that's the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm not going to ask people to thumb it up and stuff, because usually I disable ratings and set comments to approval for a reason, because, you know, frankly, I have a much smaller audience than Jaclyn, and, well, you should have seen what happened to my comment section in the last one when Jaclyn made a response. It was pretty ugly. So, I don't know. I may keep the ratings open, I may allow people to comment, but it has to do with what abuse happens. You know, if people say, you know what, okay, let's give it a shot, or if they go, nah, which is typically what happens. So let's see. I'm hoping for the best. I remain always optimistic, always hoping for the best. And so, Jaclyn, I hope you'll reward my optimism and give me a chance. Give conversation a chance. Jaclyn, I don't dislike you. In fact, you seem like you have a lot of qualities that I would enjoy. I would enjoy having a friend like you. Doesn't mean I agree with everything you say. In fact, I strongly disagree with a lot of things you say. But that's the proof. That's the proof that we can be friends. You see, if I only am friends with you because I agree with everything you say, like your audience does, maybe it's not your friendship. Maybe it's not you that I'm interested in. Maybe I just am using you to fortify my own worldview. Maybe I like you only because you make me feel safe with the way I view the world. The fact is, no. You are on the opposite side of the fence. You attempt to challenge my worldview, and yet I still want to be your friend. That should show you that I'm sincere, and that I'm not merely using you to try to make myself feel better about myself. In fact, I fully anticipate you to try and tear me down and make me not feel great about my worldview and myself. And I invite that. I invite that simply because I'm critical of myself. The more I criticize my worldview, the more I realize how strong it is. So I invite that. I truly do. And that's why I'm inviting you to have that conversation. And I hope you'll feel the same way. So please think about it. Let me know what you'd like to do. And I thank you again for making a video response and watching this video.